Are you enjoying the show? Refill your popcorn. You'll love this next part. Trump pushes back on Candace Owens. People aren't dying when they take the vaccine. Oh no. All right, let's get to that. Let's talk about that. Some of you might be saying, who's Candace? And to that I say, can these nuts fit in your mouth? The answer is yes. So Candace Hitler wanted to make Germany great. Owens is interviewing the supreme leader, the real leader.
Where do you stand on these vaccine mandates? And obviously, I know that you are pro-vaccine. Obviously, you did everything you could to get this vaccine out. I know where you stand on the vaccine.
It was one of the greatest achievements. We did it in less than 9 months.
To be able to do that. Yeah, but now it's taken a twist, right? It's gotten, now we went from, this is a good thing and people should have this option, to military men, you're going to have to resign because you're not getting this vaccine. Where do you stand on that?
Well, I stand on, forget about the mandates, that people have to have their freedom, but at the same time, the vaccine is one of the greatest achievements of mankind. We would have had a 1917, remember the Spanish flu, killed perhaps 100 million people. Actually, it ended the First World War because the soldiers were so, a lot of people don't know that. The soldiers got so sick. It was a terrible thing. There were no vaccines. There was no anything. I came up with a vaccine, with 3 vaccines. All are very, very good. Came up with 3 of them in less than 9 months. It was supposed to take 5 to 12 years.
I don't know what he's doing. Like, does he not realize that this is going to make him not as favorable with his audience? Like, he has to understand that, like, this is the red line. Sure, Donald Trump is very good at getting people excited about dumb shit like fucking Graydon Carter, or how, like, I don't know, Variety Fair wronged him in 1998. The hogs will sit there and go, hey, yeah, brother, you're right. Fuck Graydon Carter. He's a sissy. And his restaurant operation failed. You're so right. And it's like, dude, you can't even go to the dentist. Like, you can't pay for insulin, and you're celebrating Donald Trump's accomplishments. But this is one area where the hogs will just be like, hold up. He's saying that the vaccines are good. He's been compromised. Like, it's like weird. Inside of Donald Trump, there are 2 Brunos. There's the Bruno that wants to celebrate his own personal achievements of the Operation Warp Speed, which he believes is like entirely his own. Like, he fucking concocted the vaccines on his own in a laboratory. And then the other Bruno inside of Donald Trump wants constant admiration from a crowd of sycophants, HVAC business owner supporters that sell jet skis. He wants that. And the one Bruno that desperately wants accomplishments to be celebrated and noticed is, I guess, overriding the other Bruno, because he's just fucking up right now. He will not get reelected if he keeps going with this, like, vaccines are actually good.
And yet more people have died under COVID this year, by the way, under Joe Biden. Than under you, and more people took the vaccine this year, so people are questioning how.
Well, no, the vaccine worked, but some people aren't taking it. The ones that get very sick and go to the hospital are the ones that don't take the vaccine. But it's still their choice.
Bro, here's the thing. I mean, it's insane. At this point, like, we've kind of given up. But right now, 1,300 people are dying in the United States of America every day. And like 98% of them are unvaccinated. Okay? I'm sorry. Like, you're fucking gonna die. The Joe Biden administration put out that, like, somber Dark Souls style fucking notification saying, like, you're gonna have a cold winter where you fucking die. And it's true. You're gonna fucking die. Like, if you get COVID, especially if you're like older, especially if you're unhealthy, and let's be real, you're Amerifat, so you are definitely unhealthy. So am I. We all are. You've been fed a steady slop of corn in your diet. Your arteries have turned into fucking butter, and you're like, nah, brother, I will not die to COVID. Only pussies die. And it's like, well, your best friend died, and you and your best friend are nearly in identical shape, and you're gonna die as well if you get COVID. No, I'm invincible, brother. Only pussies die. It's like 1,300 people are dying a day. Nearly every single one of them is fucking unvaccinated. How are you doing this to yourself? I think he's 100% worried about his voting base dying. He wants to convince the red states to get vaxxed for him to have a shot at winning another election. No, that's not. Dude, Republicans don't need a majority to win. They've never needed a majority to win. They can kill 700,000 of their supporters and still fucking win.
And if you take the vaccine, you're protected. Look, the results of the vaccine are very good. And if you do get it, it's a very minor form. People aren't dying when they take the vaccine.
What about the masking of children? That's a big one for moms right now.
I think it's a terrible thing.
That flies.
Bro, she keeps stopping him Just be like, but come on. All right,
in the face of science. The kids have a virtual 0% chance of dying of COVID, and yet they're insisting on these vaccine mandates. I mean, I'm sorry, on these masking mandates, and now even the vaccine mandates for small children. And what's going on there?
I think what's happening is you look at the masks where Fauci and a lot of other people said masks don't mean anything. All of a sudden, he becomes a radical masker.
Great.
I don't like to see the kids with the masks on. They're sitting in school. They have a hard enough time sitting in school.
Looks like China. I've been to China.
I can finally do the 9-month
China's education system's a hell of a lot better than ours. You know what?
Oh my God. Wait, what? What is happening? Oh, this is yet another one of those, like, Donald Trump is fucking right 100%. He's doing that thing. This is kind of how he won. Like, he would do shit like this, where he would go on Bill O'Reilly and be like, we're not so nice. You think our guys, you think our military is nice? We're not so nice. We got some killers. We got some killers. And then everyone's like, what the fuck? What, did he just say that out loud? Like, he's doing that. He's doing that thing again. I don't know if he knows, but he was the president for 4 years, and his education secretary was a maniac. The reason why the Chinese education system is better than the American one, I mean, there's a multitude of different reasons for it, but the main one is because, like, they do the opposite of what we do. You can't be, like, 1 month removed from the Chinese government straight up saying no more fucking private education in the country and just completely shutting off an entire sector of ed tech. You can't be 1 month removed from that reality to say the Chinese education system is great. That's wild. I say that all the time, but you're Donald Trump. That's very weird.
All of a sudden, he becomes a radical masker. I don't like to see the kids with the masks on. They're sitting in school. They have a hard enough time sitting in school.
Looks like China. I've been to China.
Well, and yet China's education system's a hell of a lot better than ours. You know what? They're rated number 2 or 3, and we're rated number 44.
But masking children, I mean.
Oh my God. Candace Owens' brain is broken. Like, but masking children. Let's get back to the talking points. What are you saying, Mr. Trump, sir? But masking children is like, shut up, bitch. It doesn't matter. China is ruining us. They're destroying us. They're number 2. We're number 44. Who gives a fuck if the kids are wearing masks? How about the kids wear a book for once? Okay, believe me. He's about to be like, we need to abolish charter schools. We need to also put Betsy DeVos to the guillotine. What is going on? Believe me. What the fuck? Dude, Trump on the off season is just so good. What do you mean? I was wrong about Betsy DeVos. Betsy Davis, not good.
No, it's bad.
The way it looks, right? It doesn't look like a free country.
I'm against it.
We gotta watch this whole thing, man. This is like a fucking mess. Holy shit.
We were cleaning things up, and we were cleaning them up at a rapid pace. And then an election took place where we were leading at 10 o'clock in the evening. I thought it was over. Everyone thought it was over. I got a call from Karl Rove. I'm not a big fan of his. He said, congratulations, sir. About 9:30 in the evening. Congratulations, sir. You've just won. I said, thank you very much, Karl. That's very nice. And then they closed various
why would he say that?
Counting facilities, to put it nicely, right? Where they say, you ever hear the expression, sometimes the counter is more important than the candidate, right? And sometimes a lot more important than the candidate. But they closed, and then all of a sudden...
By the way, I don't believe that. I don't believe Karl Rove called him and said, congratulations, sir, you won. Okay? Wasn't Karl Rove quite literally on Fox News screaming about how bad Donald Trump is in the same timeline that he is he's saying this? Did we not watch Karl Rove fucking talk about what was going on January 6th? Also, what did he win? What did he win in his mind, dude? This is crazy.
You see numbers coming in. They said, that's a strange thing.
So listen, I was there that night, and I remember feeling exactly that way. Went to sleep, said, this election's over, woke up, and some magic happened, I guess. Some wizardry happened in the middle of the night, and I agree with you on that, and which is why I want to talk about this entire ecosystem of corruption.
By the way, excuse me, you look at Pennsylvania that night, it was like the lead was impossible. You wouldn't
call Florida.
And all of a sudden, they wouldn't call Florida, and I had a big lead. They wouldn't call Florida. They wouldn't call a lot of different states. And then they called Arizona early. And now you see what's been found in Arizona, the corruption.
Nothing. Like, literally nothing. That's the funniest part about this entire process is that, like, once again, even when Donald Trump won the election, he put a commission together because he couldn't fathom the reality that Hillary Clinton, who's like the least likable person on the planet, got more votes in the popular vote, which is why he put an investigative committee together, just as George Bush had done in the past, to figure out if there was voter fraud happening. And he ended that committee quietly, that commission, when the commission didn't come up with results that he wanted to see, because voter fraud is not happening. Okay. It's like so marginal and insignificant and oftentimes bipartisan. But the guy who literally fucking wanted to investigate an election he won was, of course, going to lie and say he never lost the election that he actually lost.
Unbelievable. You look at the findings in the report, and other things will come out. It was a really, all of my life I said, oh, this is the home of the free. This is great elections, free and fair elections. So we learned a couple of things over the last number of years. Number one, the press is among the most dishonest group of people ever, anywhere, no matter what. They're corrupt. And number two, we have corrupt elections. And we've got to straighten out the elections. And you're only going to straighten out the press if you allow people to sue with a meaningful law. So if they write libelous and terrible things, they don't want that to happen. They don't want that because they want to do it the way they're doing it.
New York Times versus Sullivan should be reversed.
It should be reversed.
Absolutely.
And I think Justice Thomas...
Dude, what the fuck? Yo, he's just straight up saying, like, fuck freedom of speech and freedom of press. You should be able to whip the press into submission when you don't like what they're saying about you. I mean, I don't like the media either, obviously, but like, that's crazy. How can you on the one hand be like, free speech is under attack, and then simultaneously say, also, we should have no free speech? Like, we should actually, at the government level, not at like the level of private enterprise dictating what you can and can't say on websites, but like straight up at the government level, destroy freedom of the press.
We did a lot of things,
and you
but
did it with under fire.
I did it.
At all times.
It's funny, and I've been using this expression a little bit lately. I said I had two jobs: to run the country and to survive, because I was under fire. No prep from the day I came down the escalator with our first lady. I came down that escalator and I was under investigation. From the day I came, never in my life was I had every single aspect. Everything I ever did for years. A friend of mine said, you have to be the most honest person in the world to have survived that. If they catch a comma, if they catch a misspelling word, they'll give you things, and they don't do it with the other side. They do that with Republicans, but me was the ultimate example. So number one, I wanted to run the country properly, and we did. You didn't see Taiwan, you didn't see Ukraine, you didn't see all of these problems that are happening that is so embarrassing. The pullout of Afghanistan was the worst event. By the way, I was all for getting out. I'm the one that brought it down to 2,500.
Bro, it's so awesome. It's so awesome where you simultaneously have to take credit for being anti-war, but then also have to shit on the exact same strategy followed through by the next administration. It's dope. Everything he said, I forgot about how much he contradicts himself on a regular basis in like every fucking
100 soldiers, actually 2,000 soldiers, and they would never have even touched us.
But I think the frustration on the Republican side, and this is why I said I want to talk a lot about Republican frustrations, is that we see the corruption, right? Yeah. It doesn't seem like anybody ever pays for the corruption. Yeah. And right now we're seeing corruption live, even in terms of big pharma, which is a huge topic on the minds of mothers especially. You're seeing what's happening at these school board meetings. Where do you stand?
By the way, speaking of big pharma, didn't Pfizer finally come out with a fucking pill that as of today the FDA has given an emergency use authorization as of like last night or today to a pill that is a COVID recovery pill. So there's going to be an expensive Pfizer pill that you can fucking take if you're so adamant about, getting owned by COVID, like definitely getting COVID. If you want that, then, turns out you can there's another pill. I wonder if they're going to be against that too.
There was no vaccines. There was no anything. I came up with a vaccine, with 3 vaccines. All are very, very good. Came up with 3 of them in less than 9 months. It was supposed to take 5 to 12 years.
And yet more people have died under COVID this year, by the way, under Joe Biden, than under you. And more people took the vaccine this year. So people are...
This is the best part of the interview where she's still trying to keep it on the rail, okay? But it's going off the rails. Because Donald Trump is saying shit that she did not think he was going to say, right? And she's just like, but more people have died under Joe Biden? Yeah. Who's dying under Joe Biden? First of all, that is absolutely institutional failure. The fact that 57% of COVID fatalities that have occurred under the Biden administration in a post-vaccine world is psychotic. It is insane. It's a complete catastrophic institutionalized failure. Okay? That's true. That's Biden's America. Except everyone that's dying is an anti-vaxxer. Like, pretty much every single motherfucker who's died is unvaccinated. Now, the failure of the government in that situation is the reality that they're not taking swift and decisive, and yes, authoritarian action for the public good. But if the Biden administration operated in the way that I want them to operate and forcibly inoculated every fucking red state resident who's like terrified of getting a vaccine, then these guys would be losing their minds. They'd probably fucking rise up against the government with arms. The failure of the Biden administration is because they were not authoritarian enough. They were behaving in a very like liberal and very fucking Republican approved way. Forcing inoculations, as much as I'd love that, creates a dangerous precedent though. Oh yeah, has it? Because we have done it in the past. So maybe, you know, learn about America's history a little bit before you fucking say, oh, it's a very dangerous precedent. The reason why we don't have fucking smallpox outbreaks in the same capacity is because they fucking literally would go in, cops would go into fucking people's houses and sit them down, handcuff them, and inoculate them. So no, there wasn't a dangerous precedent. I wish we had set that dangerous fucking precedent so we could have literally, not have this issue at this moment. But, ultimately, the Biden administration has failed. It is ridiculous that we have vaccines and more people are fucking dying. 1,300 people are dying on average a day in America right now. We don't even talk about it. We've like completely fucking forgotten that is a thing that is going on. When 1,000 people were dying under the Trump administration, we were losing our fucking minds. Understandably so. That's 1,000 people dying a day. That's a whole ass 9/11 every 3 days, dude. That's crazy. And we're back to that. And guess what? All those motherfuckers that are dying, nearly every single one of them are not vaccinated. It's bananas that people are just like, no, it's my right to fucking kill myself and others around me. Anyways, keep going.
Questioning how
the vaccine worked, but some people aren't taking it. The ones that get very sick and go to the hospital are the ones that don't take the vaccine. But it's still their choice. And if you take the vaccine, you're protected. Look, the results of the vaccine are very good. And if you do get it, it's a very minor form. People aren't dying when they take the vaccine.
What about the masking of children? That's a big one.
I think it's like, let's move on from this fucking people aren't dying because they take the vaccine argument. Trump, I don't like what you're saying here. What about something else? Let's talk about something else. Stop saying that.
Vaccine's great, but people should have a right to choose.
I'm so proud of what we did with the vaccine, but it shouldn't be mandated, and it just shouldn't be. And the other thing is, a lot of people that get it, you had it. Did you get COVID?
No.
You didn't get it?
Doesn't like me.
Did you have the vaccine?
No. Doesn't like me.
That's a lie. She went to Madison Square Garden. No. Didn't she actually get vaccinated? She's like straight lying right now, isn't she? Probably got a fake card. It's literally a fucking felony or something. Yeah, Candace Owens spotted the UFC event where vaccinations are required. That's why I said she was at Madison Square Garden. So either she used a fake vaccination card, which is illegal as fuck, or she just straight up is lying about her vaccination status. One or the other. Okay, let's keep going though.
And I've been all around the world. I don't know. I think they should study me. They should study me.
They're afraid.
Doesn't like me.
It's a scary thing, but it's afraid of you.
My husband had it though.
Yeah, but now your husband is now essentially immune. He's got a protection.
They won't even talk
They won't give credit to people that had it that aren't going to catch it a second time. It's a very strong form of immunity. So they're crazy.
Well, here, talk about corruption. I mean, you're a businessman. Imagine I make a product and then you mandate that every single person has to buy my product. And this is why people are wondering, is there a little bit of corruption going on here at the top?
Well, this is worse because it's going into your system.
Right.
So this isn't just a product. This is a product that's going.
Whenever people say you can't get reinfected or anything along those lines, like anything that you imply about like reinfection rates, I present to you Jair Bolsonaro. Okay, he has gotten COVID like 14 times. My man has gotten, he has his like own version of COVID just in his own body. Don't act like you can't get reinfected. You definitely can get reinfected, dude. He's collecting him like Pokemon cards, dude. He's got the most amount of COVID. Yeah, he's just more COVID than man now.
They can't because people won't take them because of the mandate. No, the mandate's bad for a lot of
the military.
reasons.
I mean, can you imagine where these are great individuals that we want defending us, and they're leaving. We should never. Leaving. I feel like our country is being left defenseless. Yeah, it's a scary thing.
Bro, it's so stupid. Like whenever people talk about the military, I mean, I've said this a million times, but like anytime people talk about the fucking military, it's like, shut up. You have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. Holy shit, dude. First of all, when you're in the military, you eat MREs. Okay, so that's like automatically you are not allowed to ever ask questions about what the fuck is in a vaccine. But then also on top of that, you get hit with a cocktail anyway when you join the military. They line you up and they fucking jab you. That's before we talk about all the other experimental drugs that they fucking give you, like shit that actually gives you cancer. Before we even talk about like burning tires outside of fucking forward operating bases that actually does give you lung cancer, but then the VA doesn't want to actually pay for your health care. So they'll fight you tooth and nail. Before we talk about the fucking go juice that you're slamming, or even during Operation Desert Storm when they gave you an anthrax vaccine that also was experimental and potentially experimental to the degree where like it was never used on the population. It's just so stupid. You're literally you're a boot. Okay, when you're in the military, you are a tool, and the American government does not give a fuck about you. They will test, they will do nuclear testing on you, they will radiate your body, they will give you all different kinds of fucking psychotic vaccines that are fake. This is the first time, as a matter of fact, you're getting something that is like actually being used on the entirety of the American population. MREs are good as fuck, Lamau. You are out of your fucking mind. MREs are fucking disgusting. Unless you're talking about the pizza one, that's kind of fine, I guess.
Now it's changing. I'll tell you, I've never seen anything like it. The last week or so, they're saying, all right, we're going to take the mandates off. You know, it's very interesting because they're losing all of these incredible people. They're just not willing to do the work. And now, you have to understand, I'm a big fan of the vaccine. I'm not going to give that up. That's a great achievement. That's a millions and millions of lives I saved, okay? You know, it's very interesting where Biden said anybody that lost that many lives should resign. Well, now he's lost more lives, so it's his statement was sort of an incredible statement.
Speaking of Joe Biden, who I think has been a gift to you in many ways, I thought, you know what, I was hard.
It is kind of true. Candace Owens is a dumbass, but Joe Biden has been kind of a gift to Donald Trump. His administration is so dog shit, dude. His current administration is so bad. Oh my God, the fucking ineptitude is off the charts. And the media complacency alongside that ineptitude makes it even worse because it makes Donald Trump look more serious and more real about all of the anger and the resentment that the American people feel. It's great. Wonderful. I love working side by side with the most reactionary force in this country to basically hand deliver and gift wrap a second Trump term to the American population. It's awesome. Great.
For me, and I'm injecting myself here, but to see a good side. And now I actually think that a lot of people are now awake to a lot of the things that you ran on. That seemed crazy to them in the beginning.
Well, they're seeing that our policies were very good. That's for sure.
And this is the toughest question I could possibly ask you. Tell me one good thing Joe Biden has done in office.
Well, the one good thing is that he showed how bad it is with this kind of a philosophy, because we won the election, but if it was...
The thing is, and this is why American politics is dog shit. It's just a fucking dog and pony show. It's just pure theater, right? Joe Biden, like reactionary conservatives getting mad at Joe Biden is hilarious because he has done every single thing that the Trump administration has done and then some. The only difference between the Joe Biden admin and the Trump admin is that like he's not out there on the bully pulpit being like, yeah, we got to make sure we got white immigration, Jack. Not black immigration. Like he's not doing that, but the same white nativist immigration policies are still in place, using the exact same policies that the Trump administration put forward, by the way, and even fighting to maintain those white nativist immigration policies in the court system. That's what Joe Biden's prosecutors are doing at the moment. So there's that reality. And on the other hand, like you got nothing out of like police reform or anything like that. There is no domestic or foreign policy change. And the only thing that Joe Biden actually did follow through on was Trump's policy of Afghanistan evacuation. So if you're fucking complaining about Joe Biden, you're basically saying the TV man is not telling me things I want to hear, and you're not paying attention to the policies, because the policies are the fucking same. It's so weird.
It's more standard where we actually took office. People would have been criticizing, why didn't you do this? Now when they look at the border, when they look at Afghanistan, when they look at all the horror shows of what's taken place, when they look at inflation's eating us alive, and they refuse to admit it. The only thing they have going is they have an unbelievable press. The press, no matter what they do, the press, you notice, doesn't talk about Afghanistan. I haven't heard we gave $85 billion, lost so.
Yeah, what happened to Afghanistan? Does anyone think about Afghanistan anymore? The only person I've seen talk about Afghanistan is Timothy Chalamet, who like is selling sexy hoodies or something to help Afghan women. Other than that, I haven't seen a single motherfucker who was like, oh, the women of Afghanistan are getting fucking brutalized and murdered by the Taliban. What happened to liberal media that was shitting all over Joe Biden? Just straight up fucking doing doo-doo on Joe Biden nonstop. What happened? Why'd they shut the fuck up about Afghanistan? What happened? I'm still pissed. I got more money under Trump than Biden. That lives in my brain. Oh yeah, and those checks had his name on them too, baby. Right. I still kept mine. It's somewhere around here. I don't think I cashed it. Beautiful, beautiful mail, handwritten mail that our glorious supreme leader sent me.
Prisoners being released into our country, and you talk about masks, you talk about mandates, you talk about all this stuff. You come through the southern border, you have no problem. And tremendous diseases coming through, long beyond COVID, coming through our southern border, and they don't want to do anything about it. And how often?
Wait, long beyond COVID? What the fuck does he mean? We got to stop immigration because of diseases is like a super antiquated, super old, but of course, very, I mean, it's just a classic take. Just racist as fuck.
How often do you see the mainstream or the lamestream media talk about it? You never see it. They don't talk about the border. They don't talk about.
He said lame stream. Let's go, dude. My man is killing it, dude. That's hey, got him. Fucking got him. Okay, mainstream or the lame stream. Believe me, they're lame.
I wouldn't even call it.
Well, a lot of them aren't watching.
Yeah, nobody's watching it. I wouldn't even call it mainstream.
That's
I mean, the
true.
views are really low right
now. How about
now.
lame stream?
Yeah, we could send a tweet or a parlor right now, and we could get more views in 5 seconds. So I don't even call it mainstream. But I do want to ask you, hindsight is 20/20. Anything that looking back, you think, you know what, I got that one wrong, or I wish I had this knowledge and I could have done something different. You know, I mean, it's easy, obviously, it's hard.
Always. Yeah. By the way, always in any business.
The fucking giant, the Titan, Parlor, the incredible website, Parlor.
No matter what you do, no matter what your success, you always would do certain things a little bit differently or differently. The biggest, look, we had tremendous success. The border was the strongest it's ever been. The economy was the best in history. And I did it twice. I had to do it after. I had to rebuild it after our friends from China.
Wait, we got to interrupt this because this is one of his greats. You're right. This is one of my favorite Trump moments as well. It's so fucking good. He was the GOAT. He did it like nobody has ever done it. Straight up. This is one of those moments.
Well, that's really good. And you just have a good time. Are you still a believer in Santa? Because at 7 it's marginal, right?
Because at 7 it's marginal, right? Come on. You still a believer in Santa? What an awesome fucking thing to say, dude. Are you still a believer in Santa? Because at 7 it's marginal, right?
Well, you just enjoy yourself.
Joe Biden would never do that. Joe Biden would never fucking have the courage. Actually, just kidding. Who am I kidding? Joe Biden would absolutely do that. This is some Joe Biden ass shit, which is why I'm a firm believer that you got to let Joe's freak flag fly. That is one thing that I think the Democratic Party or the operatives, whatever the fuck, could do to salvage the situation. You want to improve his approval rating, you got to have that dude go out and fucking cut the malarkey and you know, go full Jack mode.
Either sent us or it came in from China. And they should pay reparations, by the way. They should pay. Even they can't afford to pay the world because there's probably $60 trillion to
hey, everybody.
They should pay reparations. They should not be allowed to get away with this. And people don't talk about that anymore.
Reparations.
Either. But I would say the big thing would be certain people I would have used differently. I would have put different people in certain positions. If I had a choice, I don't have to go specifically, but I could give you names at a later date. But there'd be people, I had great people too, you know, rebuilding the military, all the things I did. We have great generals, but not the television generals. There were certain people that I would not have put in. I would have put somebody else.
Not that Marxist general, Milley. He's too woke. Not the woke general. He's gay. I love that. It's like conservatives own patriotism so fucking hard that like they will literally turn around and be like, I don't care how decorated of a general you are. You are woke. You are now gay. You are a Maoist. You're like, they literally would like, oh God, boomers are so wonderful. Anybody have the meme I'm talking about where they basically were they were fucking putting like fingernails on Milley and saying that like he was, you know, feminine and gay, bye and like pink hair. They were yassifying Milley.
But at the time, I had spent 17 days of my life in Washington D.C. But now I know it better than anybody, and I know the good. I know we have some great people, and I would say probably more than anything else, I would have made put certain people into positions that I didn't give them. I gave them some.
This is one of the many memes that were out there. It's so good. I heart CRT. What is this? We're so woke and Marxist even when dropping bombs. Oh yeah, this. Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, I mean this is a classic meme.
I took somebody, put them in a position, and I didn't like the job they did.
I think definitely, and perhaps some snakes around you as well.
We had some snakes, yeah. And look, you always do, no matter what business, whether it's politics or anything else, you always do. I had some very loyal people. I had some very disloyal people, very bad people. But, and I think this is true with companies. If you're running a big company, sometimes you make a decision to put somebody there, and it always happens. It's rare that you go through, a long period of time and everybody's just perfect. But I know people that would have done great jobs in certain positions, and I didn't like the jobs that certain people did. And usually I fired them. And every time when you fire somebody, it's a big deal. But usually I fired them. Overall, we had great people.
Yeah. Well, I know that we don't have much time left, so I'm going to toss you a fun one. Alec Baldwin, is he going to get arrested?
I don't know. Look, he's been trouble from the...
Wait, what? Why would he get arrested? What the fuck? Bro, this is... Oh, God, I love conservatives, man. They just, latch on. That's a fun one, by the way. What a segue. Here's a fun one. The top of the hour ad break.
Years. I thought he was terrible.
Imitate him.
Well, no, I thought it was just... Yeah, that wouldn't be hard. I thought he did terrible. I thought he was terrible at it. They have other people that do much better, but he's always trouble. I mean... He takes a gun, he said he didn't pull the trigger, and then the experts get on and say it's not possible that that particular gun can, it doesn't work that way. In other words, it can't happen that it works where you don't pull the trigger and it just happens to go off, okay? I don't think that was a very good interview for him. I just say this.
Wow, he watched it. I didn't even watch that interview. Bro, he is such a media demon, dude. He loves media. He is the #1 fan of media, okay? He stands the media. It's just, it's wild. It's bro, just have fun.
We have tremendous support now. I have more support now than I did before the election, and we had a lot of support. But it's so bad. Our country has never been so embarrassed or disgraced. We've never had a country like this. And when he does, in particular,
we've never had a country like this. Dude, I do miss Trump sometimes. When he says shit like that, just casually, we've never had a country like this. Our country is embarrassed. We've never had it be this embarrassed, the most embarrassing. It's just such a stupid thing to say. It's awesome.
Afghanistan, to a large extent, the borders, but when he does that horrible withdrawal, again, we want to withdraw, but with dignity and strength. When Putin and Xi, President Xi of China, and Kim Jong-un of North Korea, when they're watching, and Iran, when they're watching what happened during that short period of time, they lost respect for our country. They're all at the top of their game, and we have a leader that doesn't have a clue. It's a very bad time for our country.
And we've lost the moral high ground with
these people. We certainly have. We certainly have. You're right.
Putin sat down. And he basically, they were trying to say you're a bad guy, and he said,
When did America ever have the moral high ground? World War II? That's it?
Locked up people that are rotting in prison because of January 6th. And I said, this is bad.
That's right.
We've lost the moral high ground because of what this Department of Justice is doing.
And you haven't heard the beginning. They are now, every time we say anything, and they go big league. They go big league on what they do. And they just look at us and what about this, and that?
I've never seen it before.
And all you can do is sit there and say, well, I guess that's right. Let's get on to the next subject.
You're right. What can we say?
Pretty tough stuff. Thank you very much.
All right, guys, that was amazing. It really was such a wonderful opportunity for me to sit down and have this dialogue with President Trump. We are grateful to him and his entire team. It is so important that we continue to have these sorts of dialogues that are unfiltered and dialogues that are not prompted by a desire to make somebody look bad or to look good. Just the honest answer.
Yeah, you definitely weren't trying to make him look bad or look good. You literally... Like, come on, don't say anything about the vaccines. It's going to make you look bad. Yeah, it's a definitely unbiased interview from Candace Owens, who's certainly a journalist. Anyway, let's see. In a new interview, Trump admits he lost the 2020 election.
We started building, and we built almost 500 miles of wall. Certain sections you couldn't get rights to, and now we have rights. And had we won the election, it would be completed by now. They could.
I mean, that's so whack, dude. God, liberals are so pathetic, dude. They're like, oh, we got him. He admitted it. It's like, yeah, dude, we know he knows, bro. Like, wow, this'll surely get him now.